High key, this was Cecil's fault. Mark wouldn't have got his inside scrambled if Cecil didn't hold on to Conquest and hold Conquest captive. Goodness gracious, y'all, this was just a painful episode all around, not only for Mark, but for Debbie as well. And pretty soon, it's probably going to be pretty painful for Paul. I mean, with Nolan back and all, I don't know what's going to be in store for Debbie. But Paul might want to wait on selling that house. Alright, y'all, so episode 5 starts off with Nolan outside Debbie's door and debating on whether or not he should talk to her or not. Mark already told him, hey, leave it alone, you're being kind of selfish. But Nolan wanted to apologize anyway, which I respect, but I ain't gonna lie, I agree with Debbie. This apology is weak and it's not gonna bring back all those people that lost their lives. I'm ignorant as to how this conversation went for them in the comics, if they even had a conversation at all, but I think they did a very good job letting Debbie get her emotions out, showing just how angry she was, how betrayed she felt. And y'all ain't gonna lie, when Debbie asked Nolan,
am I still your pet?
I kind of laughed a little bit. Like, cause that's a crazy question to have to ask your spouse if you think about it. Overall, the interaction between Debbie and Nolan, 10 out of 10. I was on eggshells. And I honestly expected Cecil to pop in here, but Cecil was kind of minding his business. But he was definitely keeping watch on things from afar, which I don't blame him. I personally never expected Nolan to come back after seeing what he did in season 1. And I'm sure Cecil definitely didn't expect Nolan to be back as well. So, keeping tabs on everything was probably for the best. Another interaction I like how they conveyed well would have to be between Art and Nolan, because Art was terrified the whole time he was talking to Nolan. I mean, Nolan just casually pulling up with a six-pack saying just like old times, and absolutely not. Just like old times is the phrase that you use when you see an old friend that you haven't seen in a while and you want to catch up. Definitely doesn't apply in this situation when you terrified and terrorized the whole planet just about. But hey, I respect Art for holding his composure, especially into the end and in front of someone like Nolan. It did get a little bit awkward there when Nolan was like, hey, maybe you can give me a new costume or whatever, blase blase blase, and Art was like, I only do costumes for heroes. So that was a little bit awkward, but other than that, this was yet another solid 10 out of 10 interaction. Also, y'all, we did get introduced to Tech Jacket. Seeing her was pretty cool. And I guess it is pretty nice to have another female superhero. Personally, I do tend to get a little bit worried whenever we see females in animated media. Only because in certain anime, they don't be writing the women right at all. So I don't think I have to worry about that with Invincible. But yeah, that was mainly why I was a little bit worried. Also, something y'all may find interesting if you don't already know is that Tech Jacket is a guy in the comics, but for the show they decided to go with making her a female. I'm not sure why, but I also don't anticipate it being a major problem. If anything, I was more shocked at how easy it was for Alan to recruit Tech Jacket and her dad. The dad was on board and didn't really offer as much as resistance as I thought he should, but hey, I guess at least something in this episode went right, because it darn sure did not go right when they got aboard that ship and they got blindsided by 3 Viltrumites. I was kind of hoping we get to see Nolan and Oliver get a little bit closer. Oliver hasn't seen Nolan since he was a baby, and Nolan didn't stop by and see Oliver when he went to go see Debbie, and Nolan didn't want Oliver aboard the ship, which after seeing how he had that fight with Conquest, yeah, Oliver probably should have stayed home. The crazy part is I was so on board with Oliver joining Mark and them looking after each other, because Oliver didn't have a genuine reason for wanting to help, and I did sympathize with him a little bit because he felt like he was powerless to help his birth mother, and he didn't want to feel that same powerlessness again with Debbie. I respect it, but yeah, Oliver, I changed my tune real quick. He's gonna have to sit this one out. Conquest was on him hard, and Nolan had to save Oliver many times. Like, there was one time Oliver was about to get beasted on from the sky and he just didn't see it coming. Like, Oliver just does not understand how quick he was to being a blood spatter on the ground. The more I see the Viltrumites fight, the more I'm on board with Thetis and the energy he has towards the Viltrumites. Like, they just need to be gone, extinct, eliminated. It doesn't even matter. I don't even want them reproducing at this point. The fight with those 3 Viltrumites got so bad that Alan's girlfriend kind of had to peel out. Plus, they quickly got swarmed by some outsiders that were on the side of the Viltrumites. So they were quickly outnumbered, and this was probably something they weren't going to win. And I gotta say, y'all, the whole Mark versus Conquest fight was intense. Like, Mark is just a different Mark when he's fighting these Viltrumites. You can tell that, and you saw that clearly in this rematch that he had with Conquest. Especially if y'all remember how he was initially when he was coming across the other Viltrumites. He was holding back. He wasn't giving it his all. But y'all, he was giving it his all with Conquest. He was not holding back. I firmly believe that. And even when Conquest was pounding at him with his fist, trying to get Mark to let go of his throat, Mark was holding on for dear life. I gotta commend Mark because I would have been let go. Like, there's only but so many hits I can take before you got it. And then Conquest didn't make it any easier, putting his hands inside Mark's guts and all that. Like, y'all, that was hard to watch. Like, I was turning away from the screen, and I usually like gore, but this was too much for me. In the state that Mark was left in, I am extremely concerned. I don't know how he's going to survive this. I have a theory that maybe they're going to abort the mission or delay heading to the Viltrumites until Mark can recover, because no one is in any type of state to fight the Viltrumites, especially Mark. And then they all got separated, like Alan and Tech Jacket. They snuck aboard the Viltrumite ship to stay under the radar. Alan's girlfriend had to peel out. It's just too many things went wrong at once, so they really have no choice but to regroup and recuperate. Mind you, all of this took place before they even made it to their destination, which is not a good sign. So this war with the Viltrumites is going to be rough. They just might as well just save everyone the trouble and just smoke them out. Go ahead and hit them with that scourge poison or whatever it was once again, and just finalize it. Who cares at this point? At first, I was a little bit upset that Eve didn't get to tell Mark that she was pregnant. But after seeing this episode, maybe it's good that she didn't tell him, because I think that's the last thing Mark needs on his plate right now. Overall, this whole episode was a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed every bit of this episode. I typically don't have a problem with any Invincible episode. I think they're all good. But I definitely see why they gave us those little wholesome moments with Debbie eating with Paul and everyone else, as well as Eve and Mark cuddling, because the rest of the episode went downhill and was intense from there. But y'all, that's pretty much all I have for you regarding this episode. Let me know, what did y'all think? How are y'all feeling? Do y'all have any theories about Mark and how he's going to recover? Be sure to leave it all down below. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.